The Charlotte Hornets have once again gotten extremely lucky in the NBA lottery. They go up to the number 2 overall pick, and I could not be more happy. Well, obviously if they got the number 1 pick, I'd be a little bit more happy, but we still get Scoot Henderson. Or so we thought, because apparently Michael Jordan really likes Brandon Miller. I don't know who they're going to pair LaMelo Ball with, but that's what we're going to be talking about here today, the pros and cons of each prospect, and why I think, well, what I think. I'm not going to spoil it yet. You got to stick around a little bit to find out what I think. Miles Bridges is going to be back next year, of course, and Mark Williams will be back for year 2. So a lot of excitement in Charlotte right now. So make sure you hit the like button, leave me a comment, and hit the subscribe button, and hit the post notifications to really help us out in the YouTube algorithm. Now let's go and get started. Who to pick at number 2 is the question of the day. Brandon Miller, 6'9" out of Alabama, sharpshooter on and off the court, or Scoot Henderson out of the G League Ignite, a guy that can really fill it up, one of the better guard prospects we've seen in the last 10 years. Yes, I'd say he was probably a better prospect coming out than LaMelo Ball. So, we'll start off with the case for Scoot Henderson. Elite athlete. I mean, you watch the clips, this guy finishes over, around, through, however he wants to. He finishes it, though. Combo guard, can play the 1 or the 2. Kind of played off the ball last year with Dyson at the 1 for the G League Ignite, but he's got a really good build at about 6'4", and he can fill it up from all 3 levels. 16.5 points a game this year in a professional league, might I add. 5.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists. He was the heart and soul of the G League Ignite. 43% from the field, only 29% from 3, but that's all right. We can improve that. He can drive to the rim, let LaMelo shoot his 12 threes a game that he likes to shoot. And I do believe that Scoot Henderson has the highest floor in this draft. Obviously, Wembanyama has the highest upside, but Scoot's floor, I mean, this guy's going to step into the NBA, and he's going to straight up do it from day 1. Now, Brandon Miller, the case for Brandon Miller, I like him a lot too. I mean, he oozes potential. You can't really go wrong with either one of these guys, although I do believe that Scoot Henderson is by far the better player. He does have some legal trouble that we'll have to deal with, but from what I've seen, NBA front offices have found no red flags for the 6'9" sniper who averaged 18.8 points per game, 8.2 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game last year for the Alabama Crimson Tide, en route to taking them to the number 1 overall seed in March Madness. 43% from the field and 38% from 3. Like I said, another guy that can fill it up from all 3 levels at 6'9", and maybe we bring him in and you have a wing duo of Brandon Miller and Miles Bridges getting you 20 a game. We've seen, that's where the NBA is heading. Boston Celtics, they got that wing duo. We'll see how it pans out, though. My take, I think we got to have Scoot Henderson. Scoot is the best player, or second best player in this draft class, He actually thinks he's the number 1 player, which is obviously the right mindset. But, in my opinion, if you want Brandon Miller, I have no problem with that. Cool. Trade down and get more assets, because the Blazers are going to trade number 3. We can, if it's a guard-needy team, they want the best player available, trade down, get a couple of more assets, make it look like we really want Scoot, and then we can trade down to 3 and pick up Brandon Miller. So that's my take on it. Of course, LaMelo, Miles Bridges, whoever we draft is going to be put in a really nice situation. Even Woj said it. The Hornets could be on the fast track to competing for the first time in forever. Also have the big man Mark Williams. Now, a guy that it is time to move on from. If we do go the Scoot Henderson route, which I believe that we should, Terry Rozier, 29 years old. Sure, you might say he averaged 21 points a game last year. Why would you want to move on from a guy like that? Well, he's got 3 years, $72 million left. When Gordon Hayward was 29, we were looking at it. Oh, he's still got 3 years, about $90 million left on that contract. Probably should have moved it. Now, Rozier had a good year last year. 21, 5 and 4, 41% from the field, 32% from 3. However, he's getting up there. I think he's got 1 or 2 more years before he really falls off. So maybe we give him this 1 year, let him come off the bench, and then it's going to be Scoot Henderson season. We also got this guy, James Bouknight, who just cannot put it together. 5.6 points per game, 2.1 rebounds, 1.9 assists. It feels like the Malik Monk situation in Charlotte all over again. This was supposed to be his year, man. This was supposed to be the year that he breaks out. However, obviously, he has not broken out at all. 5.6 points per game. Come on, James. When you get out of the G League, you put up 45. And then you get up to the NBA, and it's just rough. The free agents this year for the Charlotte Hornets, we got Dennis the Menace Smith and Kelly Oubre, the sexiest man in the NBA. He averaged 20.2 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, and 1.4 steals per game last year for the Charlotte Hornets. So he's a guy I really want to see back, although he could command a large salary. 43% from the field, 32% from three, 32 minutes a game. He was our best player last year, to put it bluntly, which is a little rough when you're relying on Kelly Oubre to carry you every night. But we had injuries. We had guys decide to make it out of the NBA. And then Dennis Smith Jr., 8.5, 4.5, or closer to 9, 5, and 3. Great on-ball defense. I'd love to see Dennis back next year on a smaller contract. Same thing with Kelly, anywhere the $13 to $15 million range. PJ is a restricted free agent. Would also like to see him back. I mean, obviously we can't bring everybody back, but would love to be able to bring some of these guys back. $13 to $17 million range for PJ as well. Honestly, I wouldn't mind packaging together a couple seconds and that pick at 27 and trading for a pick next year or trading up. Either one of those, maybe into like the teens. We'll see, though. The big three. LaMelo Ball averaging 23.3 points per game, 6.4 rebounds, and 8.4 assists per night. Absolute dog. They just came out. Bobby Marks tweeted, LaMelo wants to stay in Charlotte. He's going to re-sign on a long-term extension after the draft, which is huge. 41% from the field, 38% from three, 1.6 steals per game. Would love to have LaMelo Ball back. He is our entire franchise right now. Miles Bridges is back. Averaged 20 and 7 the last time we saw him in a Charlotte Hornets uniform. And then he threw a mouthpiece at a girl, and then everything went straight downhill. 50% from the field, 33% for three from him. But, I mean, the pieces are there for this Hornets team. I don't want to get too excited because they let me down every year, but Mark Williams, 9.7 rebounds, 1 block, had a great rookie year. Now, you might be, how in the world are those numbers great? Well, just take a look at his efficiency in the minutes that he played. 64% from the field, and he only played 19 minutes. Look at the per 36 numbers, and you have to double everything on the screen that I just showed you. The potential lineup for the Hornets next year is as follows. Yes, we still have Gordon Hayward in there, which is unfortunate. If we can trade him in the offseason, I'd be all for it. We'd probably have to attach 2 of our second-round picks this year to it, but maybe we trade him and use that money to bring back Kelly and PJ, plug Kelly right in at the starting 3. You plug Kelly in there, I mean, it looks good. Even if you don't, he's probably going to get hurt anyways, so somebody else will be playing the 3 at some point. But if he stays healthy, and he's decent. 32 years old, he's getting up there. But we have LaMelo and Scoot in the backcourt. They're going to have a competition every game to see who can get more assists, and that's how we're going to win games. Miles Bridges is still in the front court. People forget he's a 20-point-per-game scorer with 7 rebounds on 50% shooting. And then Mark Williams protecting the rim, cleaning everything up around the glass, essentially. The bench, I think this would be a good bench as well. Dennis Smith, Terry Rozier, and Kelly Oubre, 2 20-point-per-game scorers from the previous season that went off due to injuries, albeit. And then Dennis, a really good defender. PJ averaged 15 a game this year. I think he would be a very nice addition. Now, the backup center spot, it's going to be between Kai Jones and JT Thor. Or actually Nick Richards. One of those 3, I feel like it'll be Richards. Steve Clifford seems to like him, and we just gave him about $5 million a year for the next 3 years. So it's actually probably going to be Richards. I completely forgot about him when making this graphic. But he will be the backup center, and that would be a very nice backup 5. I believe at some point this year, that starting 5 started for the Hornets. Well, now they're the bench. So they got killed by every starting unit this year, but hey, at least they can beat the backups. And then we also got Cody Martin, James Bouknight, Bryce McGowan's people forget about. We'll see how it all pans out, but there's a lot of talent in Charlotte for the first time in forever. With that being said, let me know down in the comments below who you think we should draft. Make sure to like button and hit the subscribe button. Also hit the post notifications if you want to see more NBA content soon, because we will be posting every single day. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.